Friends, absolutely fantastic to be here to our first campaign rally in Dumfermline in Fife, and to speak alongside such wonderful women who've just spoken to you now. That is what our party is about, and that is what our strength is about. And also I want to thank Alex Rowley for being here tonight, our wonderful deputy leader in Scotland. Kezia has just laid it out on the way we're campaigning on the rape clause and on so many other things in Scotland. That is what the Labour Party is about. Justice, human rights, taking the fight to those who are trying to run away from it. And thank you, Cara, for what you said. Our party is proud to have people like you in this party campaigning for this party. Commitment, talent, energy and a vision for a better society and a better country. And I tell you this, on June the 8th we've got the chance to elect a whole generation of young, talented and brilliant people to Parliament to represent our party and to change the way things are done in Britain. This is the 13th campaign event I've already been to in this election campaign, and I'm loving every minute of it. Because we're absolutely up for this fight. We're absolutely there. Because this election is about the establishment versus the people. The establishment wants to tell you that everything's fine. Just keep things as they are. The rich will get a little bit richer, and everyone else will get a bit worse off. We've had 7 years of people getting a bit worse off. We've had 7 years of more people rough sleeping and homeless because they're getting a bit worse off. Well, it's the people all across Britain who built our country. It is they who now deserve their share of the cake. That's what this election is about. We must stop our wealth being taken from us and handed out to millionaires, tax dodgers and city executives. Only a Labour government will end the robbery of the British people and use our huge wealth to invest in people's lives in every single community all across our country. So friends, it's pretty clear that Scotland and the people across the UK are facing a massive choice in this election. Do you want to vote for a Tory party trying to negotiate a Brexit deal that will result in a low-tax, bargain-basement economy serving only the needs of the rich and the wealthy? Or do you want a Labour government committed to negotiating that will protect the gains won by workers and environment across the EU? Do you want a Tory party that's punished people across this country with an unprecedented attack on them and their living standards, their pensions, their public services, with the austerity-driven policy agenda? The Tories have cut, and cut again, and in doing so, they've made people poorer and compromised the very public services that civilise us as a society. They've increased poverty and created a heartless, callous welfare system that has created far, far too many Daniel Blakes. That is the product of 7 years of a Tory government. And you know, Ken Loach is working with us on this campaign to get a message of decency and hope out all across this country. Thanks, Ken, for your help. But friends, a reminder, let us not forget that between 2010 and 15, it was a coalition government, and their collaborators were the Liberal Democrats. They are as culpable as the Tories. They legitimised the attack on working people, and we should never ever forget their role in an austerity agenda that penalise the people of this country rather than the spivs and the speculators who crashed and burned our economy in the first place. In Scotland, there is another dimension. So I ask people, do you want to vote for the SNP who want to fight for another unwanted and unnecessary referendum, but who failed abysmally in the fight against poverty and inequality? Who failed in government in all policy areas as they systematically forget the day job and obsess about the Constitution. Instead of making life better for college students, school pupils, the low-paid, the elderly, languishing in hospital in the absence of a social care package to allow them out, the sick waiting beyond the treatment time guarantee? Or do you want a Labour Party who will retain Scotland in the UK, but in a UK that is far fairer, more just and a more equal vision of anything the Tories could ever offer? Scandalously, in Scotland, 260,000 children, 40,000 more than last year, are living in poverty. Health inequalities stubbornly persist. You could take a bus across Glasgow. You could measure the decreasing life expectancy as you go from the wealthy places to the poor. That is what health inequality is about. The poor living shorter lives in a polluted environment, the wealthy doing better. I want long lives and no pollution for everybody in our lives. Education attainments differences are worsting, and the numbers of people working but still living in poverty are at their worst point since devolution. These statistics are people. They are people whose opportunities to lead contented and fulfilling lives have been reduced as a result of political decisions made by the Tories in Westminster and the SNP in Holyrood. Many people in Scotland rightly expect the Scottish Parliament to protect them from this vicious Tory government. It's a disgrace that they have not fought for these people and against poverty and inequality in the same way as they fought for independence. The truth is, the Tories and the SNP are obsessed with fighting against Brussels and Westminster and winning back political power, but neither of them want to take on the economic power from multinationals and big business. Neither of them wants to change and transform our economy in a way that ensures that no one and no community is left behind. So friends, let me make it clear. The only progressive alliance today, just as it's always been, is the Labour Party and the trade union movement. That is what a progressive alliance is. And if you want progressive policies that deliver social justice, fairness and equality, then you should vote Labour. Vote for Labour MPs to elect a Labour government. Let me be clear, there will be no deals with the SNP or anybody else. Yes, I I'll vote for a poor imitation that's overseen an increase in child poverty and the biggest increase since devolution of those people classified as poor despite being in work, when you can have the real thing in the Labour Party. Remember, this is not a referendum, it's a general election. Only Labour can form another government and offer an alternative that will transform the lives of people all across Scotland and all across Britain. That is the Labour offer. It's not about Theresa May or Nicola Sturgeon or me. Nor is it about elites in Westminster or Brussels. It's about every single person here and every single person across our country. The people of Scotland and the rest of Britain deserve more, and it's not much to ask. We all deserve a well-funded national health service. The best schools for all of our children, well-paid, secure jobs, and real control over our own lives. That's what this election is about. But why, in the 5th richest nation on the planet, do we not have this? Why is there a housing crisis? Why is our precious National Health Service not cared for? Why are so many people not being paid properly for the work they do, not able to get on, not able to provide for their families as much as they'd like to, not able to lead their lives to the full? It's because the Tories have rigged the system and they've rigged the economy. And here in Scotland, it's also because the government of Scotland have passed on these Tory cuts without even a whimper. If Labour is elected on the 8th of June, we'll form a government that gives the people back what they deserve, because people deserve better. We will redistribute the wealth of our society to ensure that people are paid at least a real living wage of £10 an hour. We've announced that this week. That would transform the lives of 500,000 people in Scotland who currently earn less than the living wage. And it would wipe out at a stroke the concept of the working poor. We will protect pensioner incomes by legislating to keep the triple lock on state pensions. Protecting the pension of over 1 million people in Scotland, guaranteeing them a basic income necessary to live a dignified life in retirement. Only Labour will protect pensions. The Tories will not, and the SNP plans for independence would threaten those pensions. People who've given a lifetime to the rest of us in their work and their contribution deserve a decent retirement where they don't have to be frightened of being able to eat, heat and pay their bills. They deserve that dignity. They also deserve that respect in our society, because it is income, yes, but it's also loneliness and exclusion. We want a society that recognises that and is more inclusive, like our movement is more inclusive. That surely is something worth thinking about as we go towards the election. We will also make sure that public spending will be used as a force for good in working and environment conditions, equal opportunities and fair pay. So we will put conditions on the massive public spending budget that goes into private business to ensure that no company wins a public contract if they evade their taxes. Pay their suppliers on time, or don't recognise trade unions. It's quite simple. That's the deal we offer. We'll spend our money on people that are good employers and good citizens and play a good part in our community. That seems to be. We will create a Scottish National Bank under Scottish control and backed by the National Investment Bank, with £20 billion of lending power to deliver the funds to local projects and Scotland's small businesses, creating work and stimulating the economy. We will aggressively take on the tax avoiders and the tax evaders starting by making all corporations publish their tax returns. Nothing complicated, just let us know. We'll ban 0 hours contracts. Give new protections to 60,000 workers across Scotland, currently with no guaranteed hours. How can people plan or just pay the rent if they have no security of income? What's it like? You wake up in the morning, we wake up and you look for your mobile phone, we all do, come on, admit it. And you look for a text and you hope it's good news, you hope it's a friend or whatever. No. If you're on a 0 hours contract, you're looking to find out if you've got a job that day. And then you stand around with your phone on all morning thinking, am I going to get a job? Am I going to get a few hours work today or not? And it goes on day after day. And then you've got the bills, you've got the rent, and all that, you still don't know. And then you get in the mess with your benefits because you don't know what your income is. Surely to God, in the 21st century, in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, we can do a bit better than that. And unlike others, we will set up inquiries into blacklisting and into augury. And as I told the STUC, who gave me a wonderful reception today, we will set up an inquiry, or ask the Scottish Government to set up an inquiry into the actions of the police during the miners' strike. No more will those at the top take from the pockets of those in the middle of society, or those stuck on 0 hours contracts or minimum wage. No more will they hold you back and stop you having the opportunities in life which we all deserve. Wherever we were born, whatever our parents did, we all deserve the same opportunities. So on the 8th of June, you have a choice. Do you choose the Tories, who will continue to feed, thank you, absolutely on message over there, thank you, we will continue to feed the wealth to their friends and the corporations, or the SNP, who seem to have forgotten the day job and the basic requirement to look after people when in government instead of obsessed with another unwanted referendum. Or do you choose Labour, who will redistribute wealth and those who made the wealth in the first place? Yes, that is the people of Britain, who will spend that wealth where it's needed most in transforming the lives of the people of this country. This election is about the establishment versus the people. Labour is the only party which is fighting to ensure that it's the people who win. Scotland and Britain are being held back. Only by voting Labour on June the 8th can you change our country to make it work for the many, not the few. Thank you very much.